Hello, this tutorial covers the Qrowd catalog. The catalog is the content that is available for you to add to the Qrowd webtop. Qrowd is being launched in early August 2008. As a result, the content in the catalog is currently rather thin. Over time, more and more content will be added into the catalog, hopefully by Qrowd users like yourself. To view the catalog, click the Show Catalog button. Every time the catalog is opened, the latest content is retrieved from the Qrowd server. To close the catalog, click the same button. You can change the size of the catalog window by dragging this gripper here. The catalog has three sections. The Features section is content that has been nominated to the front page by the Qrowd administrator. This is content that we feel most people will be interested in. The Community catalog is content that Qrowd users like yourself have published and made public. The Mine catalog is your own individual content. It can be either private or public. Either way, it is content that you have added into Qrowd. When you first access Qrowd, this section will therefore be empty until you start adding content into the system. Within each of these three catalogs, there are three sections of content: server feeds, assemblies, and widgets. Server feeds are feeds created by the Qrowd system. Qrowd has the ability to run assemblies entirely on the Qrowd server to generate output like RSS feeds. Assemblies are basic building blocks within Qrowd. You can think of it as an unconfigured widget. Widgets are therefore configured assemblies. We will dive into each of these three sections a little bit deeper. I'm clicking on these categories to open up to get to the content. The server feed is unique in that this feed does not appear within the webtop. When I click on this, the feed will be opened in a new browser window. That is unlike any other widget in the Qrowd catalog. That is because the feed is executing on the server and generating an output file. This particular one is taking photos from Flickr. This feed can be copied into other feed readers, not just within Qrowd. Assemblies, as I mentioned before, are basic building blocks within Qrowd. For example, within the news readers, there are different types of readers. One for comic strips, one for Google News feeds, and another for general news feeds in RSS and ATOM formats. Widgets are configured assemblies. For example, let me go here to Entertainment, Comics, and you will see three different comic strips. These have all been configured from the same comic strip feed reader assembly. So hence, one assembly has resulted in multiple instances of widgets. At the top of the catalog is a hyperlink for quickly adding news feeds into your webtop. When I click that, a settings window will appear that lets you configure the news feed. You can choose how many items in the feed to view, how much time should elapse before the news feed is refreshed. You can choose to have alerts based on keywords that you enter separating words with commas to delineate them. This is where you would enter the newsfeed URL. The URL must point to the raw newsfeed, either in RSS or Atom format. To give an example, let's go open the CNN news page. Virtually all newspapers have RSS feeds of some type. I will click on the CNN RSS feed section here, and you can view all the available news feeds from the CNN site. I will click on the top stories one. This is typically how a newsfeed will appear in your browser window in the raw format. This is what you want to load into Qrowd. So I will take this URL and copy it, and for this one I'm going to add it as a second feed into the reader. If you want, you can also name your window. You may want to change colors if you like, and you can pick a font size. Now you can see that the CNN newsfeed has been added to this reader. Finally, each of the items in the catalog can be right-clicked to access more options, as indicated by this little help text at the bottom. What you see depends upon your permissions. Within the Mine catalog, since this is content that you have created, you will see these options. For this assembly, you can edit it. You may want to install it onto an external web page, which means that assemblies and widgets within Qrowd don't necessarily have to run within the webtop. They can run on any external web page, such as MySpace, eBay, anything. You can also delete content that you no longer need. The context menu that you get when you right-click on an item varies depending upon what type of item you're accessing. For a widget, you have the option of editing the catalog entry. When you click that, a new dialog appears that lets you change the entry in the catalog. So for example, I can change the name, the icon, the public-private status. Once a widget has been made public, it cannot be returned to private. That is because other people in Qrowd may be using that widget. You can choose the description and also the category placement within the content catalog. You can either select categories from the drop-downs, or you can add categories by typing in. When I click Save, you will see that the catalog has been updated. Here is my new category that I added. You can see that the title has been changed. I will change it back. And now the widget is back to its previous configuration. That concludes everything that you can do with the Qrowd catalog.